1978 Mercedes SL 350. That's the 3.5 litre V8 car, this one. Automatic gearbox in white with a blue roof. Been off the road for a couple of years now, this SL. Does want some work to get it back to where it wants to be, but you know, it starts straight up on the button. We're going to have a booster pack on because the battery needs some charge in it, and it's going to need a battery basically. So please bear that in mind as well. But it does start straight up. Driven it off the wagon in the yard and around the yard and stuff like that. So it is mobile. Engine sounds really, really nice. 3.5 litre V8, like I've already said. I know I do repeat myself a little bit, but it is going to want some work to get it back on the road properly. I'll show you what we can see. We don't have, you know, we don't have a 4-post ramp or a 2-post ramp here to lift it up and all that sort of stuff. But it's going to want some welding and some bits and bobs. But a very good base to start with, I'd like to think, especially with being the 3.5 litre V8. Up the bonnet itself, nice and tidy and straight up the bonnet. We have got some very small micro blistering underneath the paint here. It looks like stone chips where the heads come off, but there's some bubbling underneath the paint there on the left-hand side of the bonnet, a little bit on the right-hand side as well there. You can't see this on the right-hand side, got a crack in the paint there. Underneath the scuttle looks to be okay. A tiny small amount underneath the wiper there. All the trim around the window has got some light scratching on it, but it's all intact, it's all nice and tidy. It seems to be fairly complete, this one. As we come up the left-hand side of the bonnet, again, you can see these little micro blisterings in the paint there, and you can see where the heads come off, it looks like stone chips. Bit of a slightly worse one there up the left-hand side. As we come back down the edge, you'll see we've got some corrosion on the left there, and we have got a crack with a little bit of a split in it. To the left-hand side of the bonnet where it meets the wing. The wing top itself, again, has got the micro blistering on it, a bit of moisture under the paint at some point in its life, just starting to poke its head through there. As we come down the left-hand side front wing, you'll notice the headlights are lovely and clear, indicators are good, the grille's all intact, no nastiness there. Overall, the chrome work on the car is very, very nice. It has got a little bit of scratching to it, but no heavy pitting anywhere, no rust to the chrome work, lovely and fresh across the right-hand side lights. Comes with the number plate as well, nice plate on there as well. So it does come with that plate. All nice and tidy on the left-hand side bumper. You can see the bright work's all good, no heavy pitting, just a light bit of scratching there. It's probably where it's been washed over the years. The rubber strips are all nice and tidy as well. They're not hanging out anywhere. There's a little bit of a bow there, but they're not hanging off anywhere. They're not rotten from the inside out like we see on many of these SLs. Across the right-hand side, same condition there, and again, headlight crystal clear, indicator nice and fresh. Across the lower valance, you can see that all the grills there. You've got your fog lights as well. Up at the top of the driver's wing, we have got this micro blistering again on the driver's wing. You can see that there up the wing. I've got a little bit of corrosion towards the back edge of the bonnet there as well. Down the driver's wing itself, right-hand side, this is the right-hand side driver's wing. Nice and straight across the wing. Again, micro blistering throughout the paint on the wing there. It's going to want some paint in places, this. When you put your hand behind the arch, there's a nice solid lip all the way around the arch. You can see that there. It's a nice sharp lip all the way around the arch. Mexican hat style wheels all the way around on this as well. It does sit very nice for an older SL. Sits nice and level. Down the right hand side and onto the driver's door, nice and tidy around the handle. Bit of scratching to the alley trim, but no corrosion around the door tops there. Wing mirror is crack free on both sides. Front edge of the door nice and straight. The rubber strips are all good down the sides there. A little bit of bowing there on the driver's side one. Lower half section there. You can see there's a bit of corrosion at the back there, and we'll do the lower half sill section as well. I will put the camera underneath. Like I say, it is going to want some welding under there. You can see some holes and things like that. Like I say, we haven't got a 2-post ramp here. We're on our knees trying to show you as much as we can see. So it is going to want some welding to floor pans and fabrication work on this one. But here to be sold with us. Across the rear arch there, you'll see we've got some corrosion around the back, a little bit of splitting in the paint on the back there. There is a lip there around the rear, but again, going to want some attention to that rear arch there. There's a few little chips out the back edge of the door as well on the driver's door. Down the rest of the quarter, it is very straight down the quarter. There's no big dings or dents, got a good shine to it. No heavy corrosion around the fuel filler cap, and no rust coming across where the body meets the bumper. Normally get some bubbling here. It's not the case with that one. Again, another Mexican hat, match wheels all the way around. Around where the roof channel sits, there's a little bit of surface rust starting there. As we come down the rear quarter, nice and straight onto the corner there. No big dings or dents down the right hand side. Rear lights seem to be all okay. A little bit of crack in the side of the right hand side there. And again, the bumper in nice condition with some light scratching, but no heavy pitting to the corners on the bumper on the right and the left hand side. There's no heavy scratching at all. Really nice and shiny on the chrome work. The rubber strip, again, nice and tidy all the way around, not bowing out anywhere on the rub strip. Across the back of the boot itself, on the lower half, no corrosion on the seams, all nice and tidy. A little bit of paint flake in the corner there, all nice and tidy on the lower half. A few little bubbles under the paint on the right hand side. Across the back of the boot lid, we have got some corrosion starting on the bottom of the lip there on the right hand side and the left hand side around the badges. Handle nice with a little bit of pitting to the handle, but in nice condition. Across the boot lid itself, the paint is flat and shiny, but there is a few, again, little bits of bubbling under the paint. You can see where the heads have come off there in the centre of the boot. A slightly heavier scratch there towards the right hand side. Across the rear scuttle, again, there's a few little bits of micro blistering starting along the edge there. As we come down and around that left-hand side rear quarter, again, nice and straight and tidy down the actual rear quarter itself. Again, a few little bits in the paint. And around the rear arch, we've got no corrosion coming through on the bumper where it meets the body there. Nice and tidy on the paintwork, but again, you've got these little bubbles just starting micro blistering in the paint. The arch itself, I will do some dodgy camera work. It's going to want some attention towards the front then. But there is a lip there as you feel your hand way around it. Until you get to the corner there, you'll see some cracking in the paint. Obviously had some previous repairs there at some point in its life. So come down the left-hand side, doors nice and tidy on the top. Again, some very small imperfections in the paint. And a little bit of micro blistering starting towards the front there on the passenger door. Again, chrome works really nice on the mirrors. Glasses uncracked. Lower half sill section again. I'll put the camera underneath. We're going to want some welding, like I said. It's going to want some floor pan. You can see that there quite clearly. It's going to need some love for its MOT. Across the left-hand side onto the front wing now. Nice and tidy down the door gaps there. No big chips out of the paint, but we have got this micro blistering, which we mentioned on the top, on the side there. Around the front arch, again, lovely and solid all the way around that arch. You put your hand in, there's a nice sharp lip all the way around the front arch there. If it was rusty, you'd see it coming through. It's all nice and clean and white all the way around that front lip. And again, set you nice and level on the left-hand side. We'll have a quick look at the roof before we get the interior. It warrants a bit of a clean on the roof. See, it's a little bit green in places, but it's a nice colour with a dark blue in the white. The roof itself, no big rips or tears on the right-hand side. Nice and tight across that leading edge there. As we work our way back and around the windows, all nice and clear across the rear windows. No yellowness to that. There's a few little marks where the roof's been down, but apart from that, nice and tidy. And onto the left-hand side, has flicked up a little bit on the corner. A little bit of a nick out the bottom there, but again, very presentable and nice and straight across the left-hand side. Good clean would square that up. Onto the interior now. Blue door cards, blue interior on this one. Door card itself's nice and tidy, no rips, no tears. Not too much wear to the grab handle. No nasty marks on the door card itself. As you come onto the seat, you'll see we've got some wear to the bolster on the driver's seat there. So that is the right-hand side bolster. There is a hole in there and some discoloration on the corner. Nice and soft though, it's not going to crack when you sit on it. We've got the blue carpet set there that warrants a good clean. Steering wheel in nice condition with a little bit of wear. Dials are all nice and clear, easy to read. You can see it's just clicked over 100,000 there, so it's on 978 miles, which is actually over 100,000 just clicked over. Cut the top across the top of the dashboard nice and tidy. There's a little crack at the front there, you can see that, and another one on the left hand side. Nice and tidy down the centre console. Aftermarket head unit fitted with a little bit of delamination to the wood on the lower half. The rear has got the wind protector in it there, and we've got, I'll just lift that out for a second, and you can see that they unclip the seat here. We've got the back half there of the seat, which is folded down. The lower half of the swab doesn't seem to be there. Into the boot now. Again, I'm just going to want a carpet set in the boot there. And you just notice there's going to want some welding in the spare wheel well. I did notice that before I was taking some photos. There's a hole in the spare wheel. When I say the whole thing is going to want some welding. as we come round onto the left hand side. Door card itself, nice and tidy again on the left hand side, no rips or tears, all nice and presentable. The seat itself showing a bit of wear, but not as bad as the driver's side, all nice and tidy. There's a little bit of a project, this one, not a horrible word, but it's going to want some love here and there on this, nice and tidy in there, no rips or tears. Just want a good clean in there though. Again, both seats folding forward. Inside of the roof headlining looks to be nice and tidy. A few little stains in here and there, but no rips or tears again from the inside. Like I say, we have got it on a booster pack. See Dad putting it onto a booster pack there. We'll have a good look at the engine bay before we get it fired up. We will try and charge the battery, but worst case scenario, it's going to want a battery. And also the ignition, on the ignition, we'll show you before we start it. You turn the key and there's a push button to start the engine. So you've got to turn the key first, and someone's obviously connected up a push button there. We get that to fire it up into life for us there. Engine sounds lovely, it fires straight into life. There's no hesitation from it. And we've got an oil pressure gauge there. Like most Mercs, I think the oil pressure will be straight. It's taking its time, but it's coming up. It is moving there, it's taking a little bit of time, but it is moving. Nice sounding engine, that one, really nice and smooth. And there you have it, the 1978 Mercedes SL 350. That's 3.5 litre V8 in white with a blue roof. Like I say, is a bit of a project, that one. It runs, seems to start and stop okay, but it's going to want some welding